thing billowing, bursting forth with the power of 10 billion butterfly sneezes.
This is Wine, Money, and Song. And if you're interested in wine and you want to learn about the best values in wine, please subscribe. Our Bordeaux prices and our Burgundy prices, are they broken? Now, how can they be broken? Well, what's happening in the last few years, a lot of the wine prices have been escalating greatly, especially Burgundy. And I'll go into some of those prices later. But with Bordeaux, what's been traditional has been the first growths and all of the high quality Super Seconds, the Right Bank, the Pomerols, and some of the special Saint-Emilions have always been sought after and are really luxury goods and have always been priced above, the price level has been above the ordinary person's reach. And they've been striding all through the years to premiumize those wines more and more and make them super luxury. Comparatively, other luxury goods like Coach bags, sports cars like Maserati, they wanted to be priced so high, and the image and certain fashion, Christian Dior and all those fabulous fashion houses price their goods luxury prices so that everyone looks at it and it becomes a conspicuous consumption purchase for people, that they buy it because it's super expensive and everyone's going to see that you own these products and they look at you, you must be doing well. And unfortunately, first growths have always been in that area, but Burgundy now has really even surpassed it, where I don't even look at Burgundy anymore as buying Burgundy anymore because the prices have escalated so much. But what I want to get into is with the prices of Bordeaux is if you've ever invested in bonds, generally the longer term the bond is at, if it's a 10-year bond, you get a higher percentage than you do from a 1-year or a 2-year, the yield. And generally that was true about wines, that the newer wines were cheaper than the older wines that have aged. That is not true anymore, and that's called an inverted yield curve. And we're going to show you the regular, normal yield curve versus an inverted yield curve. And that's what we're going through now in the economy. I can tell you recently, I've been we've been laddering some bonds for our retirement, and I'm up to snuff on this. And the shorter terms are getting higher interest rates than the longer terms, but that has to adjust. If that doesn't adjust, that's generally an indication that recession's coming and bad times are ahead. And with the wine market, if that doesn't change, if I can buy a 1990 cheaper than I can buy a 2022, something's wrong with the market, and that's when excesses can blow up. So we're going to look over these facts in this episode. So I hope that Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen are proud of me of inciting the inverted yield curve. I did take up economics decades and decades ago, but that is something that is affecting the wine market, and it's a danger.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
And there are a lot of reasons why the Bordeaux wine market collapsed in '74. First of all, the economy interest rates were at like 15%, and bond yields were crazy. And we were going through the problems with the Iranian hostage crisis, and they weren't sending oil. Everything went through the roof, and the economy was just the worst that I ever remembered it at. And what happened with Bordeaux was there was a run of very mediocre vintages back in the late 60s and the early 70s, and the economy stopped, and all of a sudden, all the importers and all the chateau owners were stuck with these wines, and they weren't selling. And there was a lot of speculation back then in Bordeaux that Bordeaux was going to be this golden investment opportunity. So there was a lot of speculation in Bordeaux. And when a bad market hits, when a bad economy hits, that's when speculators jump out the window. And there were people who had bought companies that were importing wines, and they got stuck with all the inventory. They just went out of business. And there was this sea of Bordeaux there. And that probably hung around for about 3 or 4 years. And the company that I wound up working for, Seagram Chateau and Estate, they came into business and they sort of had a large amount of capital. And there was this huge ocean of Bordeaux sitting in chateaus. And my company came in well-heeled and basically handed the chairman of my company, Ab Simon, a blank check and said, go out there, fill up our warehouses with Bordeaux, let's sell Bordeaux. That's our next way to go. We want to premiumize our image, and we're going to do it with Chateau and Estates. So Ab Simon went out there, knew all the chateau owners from doing business as Austin Nichols, and he went in and he started doing business with all these chateaus, and they were happy as hell that we were coming in. We were buying hundreds, thousands of wines, filling up. And in a way, we helped save a lot of estates at that time, because that's how dire it was. So just because it hasn't happened in your lifetime, don't think a market can't crash, because I saw it. And it was a tough time. Now, talking about the prices being broken, last week we did the values of the 2022 futures. But if you look back at the prices of the older vintages, you can still buy older vintages than the newer vintages at a price that's sometimes at a discount and sometimes 20% discount. And that can't hold up. That's not a healthy market. The older you get and you age your wine, it should appreciate. And that's why people buy Bordeaux futures, that they want the prices to appreciate. But with the 2022s, they started 20%, 25% ahead of the last vintage. And that doesn't leave a lot of room for them to go up, to escalate. You know, because they start at a high mark as it is now, because they're a luxury good, and they're taking advantage of a small harvest that they have to make up for, and also glowing reviews that they have on the vintage. But it's a very dangerous situation, and a lot of people who buy these wines, they really buy it as badges of luxury. And that's a dangerous thing for any market. People who buy sports cars, a lot of times they take them in to be serviced, and the people who are there servicing the vehicle said, you don't know how to drive this car. You have to really get on this car. You gotta, you really have to move it, for it to run well. And it's, you have to drink these wines to really understand them. And a lot of the people who buy these super luxury wines, and super luxury wines besides first growths, you have Petrus, La Panne, La Fleur, very small productions, but a few $1,000s a bottle. And who buys that? Who buys that? The conspicuous consumer buys it. The regular wine drinker cannot afford that. And it's very dangerous not having those wines in the proper hands. And with Burgundy now, Burgundy is crazy. Burgundy is crazy. I'm gonna read off a few prices. Clos de Lambray, the 2020 these are average prices, Wine Searcher, by the way. The 2020 is $766. The 2019 is $680. The 18 is $429. The 17 is $376. The 16 is $378, and the 15 is $432. It's almost twice the price, 2020 over to 2015, and 15 is excellent wine. That can't hold. That can't hold. Either the prices of the older wines have to come up, or the wines at the top have to go down for the market to make sense, or else we have that inverted yield curve thing again. And there are other wines like Roumier, Bonmar, Roumier Bonmar. It's crazy. 2020 is $3,175. 2019 is $3,403. 18 is $2,345. 2017 is $2,115, and so forth and so forth. Wines cannot be priced out of the box at these super high prices because there's no room for price appreciation. You know, trees cannot grow to the sky. I took a look at some prices of Coche d'Ory, famous white Burgundy producer, and the Coteaux Charlemagne's are like $7,000 and $8,000. Now, they make a very small amount of fantastic wines, but that's crazy. Who's going to pay that? Obviously, someone is. There's only a very small amount of it, but that's very dangerous because if something starts falling, it's a domino effect, and more wines over and over will fail. There's wines like La Flave. I can't even go through the list of Burgundies. I don't even look at Burgundies anymore. I have a good 75, 85 cases in my cellar. I don't see that going up in the future. I can't afford those prices, so I'll live off of my older vintages, 2005, 2009, 2015, and some of the older wines. I'm not paying for it. And the DRC wines, I understand the DRC wines. They've always been one of the highest quality Burgundies, but those are reserved for the less than 1% of the people. So to sum up, it's a very dangerous right now, the prices of Bordeaux and the prices of Burgundy especially. I think they are broken. And I don't know if we're going to have a major reckoning sometime soon, but be very careful. Look at those older vintages. Look at those older vintages to buy because they have to go up. If they don't, then the market will crumble. So that's what I have to say about broken Bordeaux prices and broken Burgundy prices.